we will stretch ourselves thin to keep a great reputation, which is great in hindsight. But when we start depleting ourselves, that's where you get lost. Hey guys, welcome back to the Creative on the Grind podcast. It's your girl DeAndra, and I'm back with another episode. I know I was gone. I was on a little hiatus, which we'll tap into a little bit later in the episode. But I decided I needed to take a step back for a second and really get my life together. There was a lot going on, and I felt like I had so much on my plate that I was getting overwhelmed and anxiety was kicking in. And I felt like, you know what, hold up. I need to take care of myself. So here we are. So today we are diving into a more personal episode. I named this episode Don't Be Afraid to Take a Step Back because I feel that as entrepreneurs, sometimes we do feel like if we take a step back or take time for ourselves, we're going to lose our audience. We're going to have people upset with us because we're not consistent and we're not showing up for them online. And I really wanted to talk about that because I was going through those conflicts myself when I decided to take this time for myself. So I want to share some insights and I want to take you a little deeper into my life and let you know how some things kind of just came at me and impacted my journey for a little bit. But I'm back now. So let's hop into this episode. Okay, so I want to just first start off with life will throw you curveballs no matter where you are in life. And I was thrown with a huge curveball. And for a while when I was like scripting this episode, I was like, do I really want to dive deep into this? And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go as deep as my body will allow me to go. So basically what happened was I went through a breakup and it was hard. You know, I feel like everybody knows how breakups are. They're hard. You have to grieve a relationship that you thought was going somewhere, and it can be overwhelming. And not to add that I have a full-time business and on social media platforms, YouTube, podcast, friends, family, like it's a lot of life that I had to deal with through this breakup. And on top of that, we did actually live together. So I had to, pack my bags because I was out. I'm that type of person. We just decided obviously to part ways. So I ended up getting my own new spot and I love it here. It's bright. My view is just super amazing. And I'm super happy about this new chapter for me. I learned a lot of lessons. I want to share some with you in this episode. I do want to note that when curveballs hit you as an entrepreneur, I feel that in a way it hits like 10 times harder because it's like you work for yourself, you're making your own income, and you are your lifeline. Like I'm my own lifeline. And it's like if I don't keep this ship moving, it can sink. Now that I have all of these other things going on, trying to keep everything afloat was just like, it was just too much for me. And I love to show up for people. I love to be there for everyone, but I have to also be there for myself. And in doing so, I missed all of you guys. And I had a lot of like people reaching out to me and friends and family just like, when are you going to come back on your podcast? We miss your episodes. And I'm like, I'm going to come back when I'm ready because I can't show up for people if I'm not showing up for myself, basically. And I felt honestly in my last episode that I did, I felt like I was pouring from an empty cup. And I did get a lot of great feedback from that episode, but I know how I felt trying to pour that episode because that was like honestly through the thick of the breakup. So I was doing the best that I can in that moment. But regardless to say, I'm happy that I did what I did so that I can come back even better with more things to talk about, life experiences, and just a fresh new look and a new perspective. I mean, I think there's always room for growth and change. And when things happen to us, they happen for a reason. And I just take everything as a lesson and move on. And being able to take the time to process what actually happened to me, I actually want to pat myself on the back for that, because usually for the past like 10 years that I've been an entrepreneur, anytime anything that has been like hard or challenging or detrimental to my life, I kind of just worked through it. I would just go to the next task, do the next thing, be on the go. And I didn't take time to sit down and actually sit with my emotions and sit with my feelings and see how I felt about the situation, instead of just working through it, doing work to distract myself. So being in therapy honestly has helped me a lot with that, because she told me to like feel your emotions and how do you feel about all of this stuff that's going on, because this is a life-changing event. And processing things differently, I feel like I came out so much better on the other side of this experience. I feel like I gave myself grace for once in my life. I wasn't so hard on myself. I wasn't saying, DeAndra, you need to get out. You need to do this. You need to do that. I just let myself be and feel. And that was like the best thing that I could do for myself. I do have to say, when I did decide to stop recording my podcast, I think I was only 8 episodes in, I was having a lot of internal conflict with myself, because I was like, I just started this podcast and now I'm stepping away from it. I'm not even into the thick of it. I didn't even hit my 12 episodes and I'm already putting this to a halt. I had all of the thoughts. I was like, are people going to think I'm inconsistent? Are people going to think that I'm giving up on this? Like that I can't do it? I had all of the thoughts, but I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take my notes from Mel Robbins, and I was like, I'm going to let them. I'm going to let people think whatever it is that they want to think, because people really don't know what's going on behind the camera and what's on the other side. And at the end of the day, I feel that we are all humans. We all have emotions. We have things that go on and that happen to us. And instead of trying to please everyone else, we need to start looking within and work on ourselves first, so that we could be the best versions of ourselves and show up in that way. I think you guys would love the content that I'm going to be pushing out now, more than if I was just, going through the motions and heartbreak and things like that within that time frame, and just popping out these episodes to pop them out just because I want to create content, just because I want to, stay in the know. But I feel that choosing yourself is like the highest form of self-worth, self-care, and it really does help your mental health when you do just pause for a second and reconvene when you're ready. So I didn't want to let you guys down, but I had to for just a sec. I'm happy to be back, and I'm super happy about all of the love and support that I had throughout this journey. I really want to just say thank you to my family and my friends, because this was a hard time for me. And I decided too that I don't want to go so deep into what happened, because honestly, that was the past and I don't want to revisit it. I just want to move forward and focus on the future and what is in store for me in this next year, in these next 5 years, whatever is happening. I'm just focused on the future and what's going to happen next. Also, thank you for all of the emails that I got. I saw them all. And if you're not on my newsletter, you can go to my website or just type in deandradelisa.com/subscribe and you can join my newsletter. And I send out newsletters every Tuesday with just motivation and updates and things like that to keep you motivated throughout your journey. But I sent out an email to my subscribers just letting them know that I'm coming back. And I got a few emails back just welcome me back, saying they missed the podcast and can't wait for the new content. So that actually was a great feeling, and I really appreciate all of that. I want to dive in now into some of the lessons that I learned throughout this journey from taking my hiatus, and I hope that these lessons will help you out and give you guys some insights on how to take more time for yourself throughout your journey, whatever that may be. Remember to always put yourself first and take time for yourself, no matter what you think someone's going to think or say. Take that time for yourself. The first lesson that I learned was that it's okay to take breaks. What I mean by that is that we often tend to put ourselves last and put everyone before us. As entrepreneurs, we tend to put our clients before us, before our needs. We want to make sure that they're good. We want to make sure that they're happy, satisfied. They're going to leave us great reviews. We will stretch ourselves thin to keep a great reputation, which is great in hindsight. But when we start depleting ourselves, that's where you get lost. And it's really important to recognize when you're pushing yourself too hard. So, if you start feeling anxiety or exhaustion, you're super tired, just take like 2 seconds and be in your body and see how you feel. How am I feeling right now? I'm super exhausted. I have anxiety. Maybe I need to take a little break. Maybe I need to take a little step back for a second to, regroup. Do that for you because it will help you in the long run. The second lesson that I learned was pouring from an empty cup won't further your career. You can't give your best if you're exhausted and drained. It doesn't work, and people can see it, especially when you're on camera. Like, if you're exhausted and drained, you can tell. I've seen some content creators where I could just feel it through the screen that they're going through something, but they're just trying to push through to get this content out. And it's like, I just want to just give them a hug and be like, it's okay. You can go figure out whatever it is that you need to figure out. And I'll be here because I just love your content that much. And I would rather you feel your best and present your best when that time is right for you. Taking time to recharge is essential to sustain success. And just keeping that as a mental note that, hey, I need to recharge or I need to take time for myself, do it. Just keep that in the back of your head when things start getting tough. The third lesson that I learned is self-care is the highest form of self-worth. Prioritizing self-care shows that you value yourself and you value your time. It's been so nice to just be able to be in my body, work on my feminine energy, work on things that I've been wanting to do. And this is a funny one. For like 6 months, I've been wanting to watch A Different World. And it's like an old show from like the 90s. And I see clips online, and I saw a couple episodes that were just super intriguing and super cute. And I was like, you know what? I really want to watch that show. So I started binging the show, and it's actually really good, and it gives me like that nostalgic feeling, and it feels really good to me. And I've been taking more walks, spending more time with family and friends, and just doing things by myself, going to the movies by myself, going to the pool just to relax, like just doing things by myself so that I can understand who I am. And I'm so happy that I'm doing that for me now because, throughout my years as an entrepreneur, I have done stuff for myself. Like I've gone on vacations and trips and things like that. But sometimes when I'm on vacation, I'll still be like emailing clients and, being still in work mode. And then when I get back off the plane, I'm jumping back into work the next day. So it's like I'm still on go mode. But after a decade now of being an entrepreneur, I'm like, okay, I really want to like prioritize me. What does DeAndra like? What self-care things do you want to do? I have a skincare routine now. I am doing so many amazing things, and I just have to say it has changed my life, my business, and everything, because now I feel like I'm attracting amazing people to me, amazing business, and I don't have to even really work as hard as I worked prior because I'm just being myself and learning this new side of myself. And self-care is a necessary investment in your overall health and happiness. So take that time to do some self-care and keep it up. Find a routine. Do something that's good for you because you need it. Even in the beginning of your journey, you're going to be in this grind mode, right? learn how to take care of yourself then, because it's going to be so much easier to work and function as an entrepreneur if you start early. Then you'll understand when things start really getting tough. You know what? I need to take some time to meditate. But you already know how to do that because you've been practicing that since the start. Meditation is something I wish I would have started when I first started entrepreneurship, but I wasn't even tapped into that realm yet. But now doing meditation just centers me and it makes me feel really good. And one of the last things that it's not really a lesson, but it's something that you should implement if you do decide to take some time for yourself and step back from your business or your content creation process. If you decide to take a break, make sure you schedule a time to come back. And I'm going to say that again. If you decide to take a break, make sure you schedule a time to come back. Having a plan for your return just helps gain momentum and it motivates you because you know, okay, I have to deal with this situation. I have to process it. I have to get through it, but I know I have to get back in 3 months or 6 months, whatever you feel comfortable with. Making sure you set that time that you're going to come back is essential because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, I'm anxious. You know what? I'm just not going to do this right now. And then right now turns into a month. And then right now turns into 3 months. And then right now turns into a year, 2 years. And then you just forget about the entire thing like it never existed. And that's what I feel like what happens to a lot of entrepreneurs is you get into starting this business and it's overwhelming. It's a lot going on. Plus you have other things going on. Sometimes you even have a full-time job on top of your business. So you're just really overwhelmed. Then you're like, know what? I'm going to put this on the back burner for a little bit and I'll get back to it when I can. But you didn't set a date to come back to it. So it just sits there on the shelf and it gets dusty. And then you got people coming up to you like, how's your business going? Or how's the new podcast going? And you're like, oh, I had to put it on pause for a little bit and I'm going to get back to it. And you just never do. So don't be that person. I had to do that for myself because I was like, I still want to show up. I really enjoy podcasting. I'm actually super happy that I'm doing this and I found something that I really love to do. And so I set a date for myself. I was like, I'm going to come back. And actually my date was supposed to be the first week of May, but I literally moved out in the middle of April and I still was unpacking. I was still getting my place together. Like I was like, I'm not ready. So I extended it for another month, but I'm here, right? I came back and I did what I said I was going to do. So, hey, that's another small win that I'm going to pat myself on the back for because I did what I said I was going to do. So in doing this, it just gives you a goal to work towards and ensures that you don't lose track of what you are doing, your passion, what you're destined to do. And so that it just doesn't sit on that shelf and get dusty because a lot of times the goals and the things that we start are actually things that we really want to do. But we let life get in the way and we don't get back to it. And in all, I think that's why I really felt like this podcast episode was needed because life is going to hit you no matter what. So if you want to start a business, you want to start a podcast, you want to start a YouTube, whatever it is, just do it and just know that something's going to happen. Like something's going to challenge you. But how are you going to maneuver through that challenge? And that's why you could take a step back for yourself, take time for yourself, take care of the issue, whatever it is, but make sure you get back to it and make sure you get back and do what you are supposed to do. Because honestly, I don't know where this podcast is going to go. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I have good feelings about it. And I feel that it's going to help a lot of people. And I feel like it's part of my purpose on this earth to do this and to speak and share my knowledge and share the things that I've learned as an entrepreneur for a decade. I mean, it's crazy to say that. Like I started as an entrepreneur when I was like 24 and now I'm 34 and I'm doing something totally different than when I was 24. So you are a ever-changing human. Things are going to come and things are going to go. Things are actually sometimes things that do make impactful changes in your life actually turn out to be the thing that you needed to get you to the next level in your life. So I hope that these lessons that have helped me will help you, and that you would use them in your entrepreneurial journey so that you can keep thriving and keep being successful, and don't let little setbacks hurt you, hurt your future self from being the best that you could be. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening to this episode and the continuous support. I'm back, and I hope you guys are excited for the new content and what I have in store. And just remember that it's okay to take a step back for yourself. It's okay. I'm giving you the okay, so give yourself the okay. Your health and your well-being is the foundation to your success as a creative entrepreneur. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and stay tuned for next week's episode. And until next time, stay creative and stay on the grind. Bye.